Hey everybody, Steve Bogran here, Basic Fitness LLC. And being that it's November and it's actually a question that I've been seeing come up a lot recently, I want to talk today about how to go about dealing with your holiday meals and tracking when you're with your family. So it can be really daunting, right? Going out with your family or your friends, really large meals, not really sure of how they cooked them or what the portions are, and being able to weigh everything out. For a lot of us, if we're trying to weigh out food and really count and track everything during the holidays, it kind of makes family uncomfortable, or it's off-putting to them. And so it can be tricky to deal with it while still allowing yourself and your family and everybody to enjoy the holidays. So, a couple easy tricks are, first and foremost, overestimate what's on your plate, right? So, still enter everything in your phone. Use whatever app you like to use, My Macros Plus, My Fitness Pal, whatever it might be, and keep track. So be somewhat accountable and err to tracking more than you actually ate, right? Because chances are the food's gonna be pretty calorically dense, and since you didn't cook it, you never know if there's extra butter or sugar or exactly what's in there. So your safer bet is to just overestimate that. Another thing that you can do is get an idea beforehand. I know my family always has some of the same staple things. So my grandmother always makes a really killer apple crumb pie. Now, there's a lot of butter in that, and that's probably one of the things I eat more of. So, that's one of those things that I'm going to overestimate. I'm going to look at it beforehand so I know how much I need to set aside out of my daily numbers so I can still stay on track. Same thing if you really like stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, rolls, whatever it might be. So get your idea beforehand and sort of have a rough estimate of what you're gonna try and go for and what you're trying to get. And then that way it just seems a little bit more natural to everybody as you're doing it as well. Remember, it's all about just enjoying the time with your family and friends. If you're really worried about it, and when you're looking over everything, you say, well, how am I going to make everything fit? Even with my even not overestimating, having an idea of what I'm going to try and do for Thanksgiving or for your Christmas meal. One of the other things that you can do, take some macros from your other days. So say you cut out 5 or 10 grams of carbs each day and a couple grams of fat each day. So you do that for the 3 days leading up. So say you've taken 3 grams of fat each day, that's an extra 9 grams of fat. You've taken 10 grams of carb each day, that's an extra 30 grams of carbs. And that gives you a little bit more leeway, right? If you find that you went over, do the same thing afterwards, right? So, okay, I went over my macros by 50 grams of carbs and 20 grams of fat. So I have the next 4 days, I can take, about 12 grams of carbs less each day, and what we said, 4 grams of fat each day, 4 or 5 grams of fat less each day. And then those are really simple ways so that you're still hitting your weekly calorie goals, but even if you end up going over on the day of, it gives you some wiggle room and you can still do some damage control. One of the other things you want to do is try not to go overboard with your portion sizes, right? So obviously it's the holidays, it's really easy, everybody's having a great time, you're not thinking about it, but just be wary, pay attention to what you're actually eating. Make sure that you're the one that's setting up the portions on your plate. If you're going to get pie, cut your own pieces, That way you're in control of whatever it is that you're taking into your body. One of the really easy things that I find a lot of people go over, and a lot of people have trouble with in the first place, is alcohol. So if you don't know how to count alcohol, then that's an entirely different lesson of its own. When you're drinking alcohol, just go ahead and use your calorie labels, and then just divide out either by 4 or by 9 or a mixture of the two, and then use that and take it out of your fats or carbs. And then plan ahead for how much you want to be drinking. If you're not getting ready for a competition or you're not cutting weight and you've been staying pretty steady. It's not necessarily a huge ordeal to have one day where you go over a bit. You know, life is all about balance, and sometimes you go real under, sometimes you go real over. I wouldn't be one to give anyone a really hard time about overeating on the holidays unless they're in a diet phase or in a prep phase. And then we'd be doing some work to get back into it. I think the most important thing for my clients and for anybody that I work with is that they enjoy the holidays. It's this really great time to get to know your family a little bit better and to catch up and spend more time with them and to really get rid of some of the stress in life. And I think that that can be just as beneficial as many other things. So a nice recoup and some time with family can really do people a lot of good. That being said, there are a ton of other ways that you can sort of moderate and deal with the holidays. These are just a couple of strategies that I use. So maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. But just try to remember the holidays are really about spending the time with the people that you love and that you care about. It's about building relationships that are going to last, and building memories that are going to last the rest of your life. And so don't let one day get you off track. If you find that you had a big lunch or a big dinner, don't just say F it. Don't go crazy. Try and reel it in. Use the next couple days or the next week to reel it in. Don't go into the F it mentality where you just let everything go out the window. But enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy the time with your friends, and just let people know that you care and use that opportunity to continue building good memories with all those people, right? On that note, I know it's a shorter video today. Nothing really too crazy, but I hope you all have a very happy holiday, whatever it may be, and enjoy all the time with your family and the great food and all the wonderful things that holidays have to bring.